Troy this week, really excited about them. Really want to thank our fans last week. Had a great atmosphere last week. Need them to show up and show out at home again. Got a great opponent coming in Troy. Real good football team, very competitive team. I've been really impressed with them. I think our team knows it's going to be a highly competitive game, and so we're looking forward to the contest. With that said, questions?
Looking at Troy, I guess, what's the scouting report on them? It doesn't seem like they've scored an overwhelming amount of points, just 23 per game, but they're only giving up 21 per game. I guess, what's it going to take?
I think, they're a tough-nosed football team. I think they're well coached. I think Coach Summerall's done a fantastic job with them. I mean, you just don't go to App State and, technically in my mind, they're supposed to win the game, and for them to bounce back like they did, kind of like us against Indiana, it says a lot about their football team. Their defense gets after you. They line up and play. They're good tacklers. They run to the football. They do what they do. They run their scheme extremely well offensively. They got some playmakers and they're skilled players. Quarterback is a good game manager. Offensive line does a good job. The running back's a physical runner. I think they just they're a complete football team, and they're playing good football. And when I look at them, I see a lot of similarities to us. They look like they're competitive. They enjoy the game. They like the competition piece. So I expect a really good football game.
You mentioned the running game there. I believe they're averaging 66 yards rushing per game. That's an area that you guys have been good in, but they've played SEC, they've played App State, they've played Marshall. Traditionally some pretty good defenses. What's it going to take to try to keep them around that level and continue to have the success in that regard that you've had?
Well, like you said, it starts with stopping the run. We got to stop the run, and then we can't give up the explosive plays in the passing game. Last week they gave against Marshall, they had some explosive plays in the passing game. They'll go the distance. It's nothing for this team to have long drives and their 7-minute drives and try to limit your possessions. And so we got to get off the field defensively. And then offensively, we got to play fast. We got to start fast and, got to be explosive and try to make it to where they got to try to catch up. But, they match up well with us. We match up well with them. I think it's two very similar football teams are going to play each other this week.
The offense for Troy seems to be very pass heavy. The quarterback has 1,200 passing yards on the season. They have 5 receivers with over 100 receiving yards. What's going to be the key to kind of limit the error rate for them?
I think they're going to be committed to the run and try to suck you down in there and then, throw the ball over your head. Again, their skill players are good. I think the two receivers, 5 and 15, they can go. And they do a nice job with their schemes of getting those guys open. I think the quarterback has good anticipation with the football. He gets the ball out of his hands. I think the offensive schemes that they run really lend to his strengths and what they do, and they just try to keep you off balance more than anything. But we got to be able to stop the run, not allow the 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, all those kind of things. Try to make them 3rd and long scenarios, and that'll be an advantage for us defensively. So those are some of the key things we need to do.
With Jared Day transferring there, around fall camp time, I know Gunnar Watson's been their guy at quarterback, but how do you make sure that's not a distraction or anything like that heading into this game?
First of all, I love Daggy, so it's not a distraction. It's going to be great to see him and. But we don't think about that, and and as far as from game planning and all that, we kind of do what we do, and Coach Arbuckle's done a great job early in the season. He's always mixing in new signals and changing things up, so I don't think from a scheme or that kind of thing it affects us with them knowing what we do, and so I'm happy for him, and I'm glad he's there, and so it'll be good to see him again. I hope it's electric. I think really enjoyed our crowd last week. I heard them and felt them last week, and with it being a night game, hopefully we have an electric atmosphere. We're going to need it because it's going to be an exciting game for sure. And when our crowd is up, it's something that, you know, we feel and we enjoy. And so I know they'll show up for sure. This will be a big one to be at for sure.
Coach, how are you motivating the players this week after your win on Saturday? Because that was quite impressive. What are you telling them going into Troy this weekend?
You know, from the motivational piece, they're self-motivated. I just try to hit key points, you know, and they already watched the film against Troy before I even get to them in a team meeting. So when I look at them in their eyes, they already know, and they already know that, hey, we got to show up, play our best football. They know what it's going to take work-wise throughout the week and the preparation it's going to take. They're looking forward to that challenge. I think they respect the opponent we're about to play and what they're capable of doing. You know, so it's kind of gets you going. You know, as you know, you're playing a good opponent. You know that it's a good matchup, and I think they're excited about that. But there's a lot of respect for that opponent as well. And so I don't have to self-motivate them. We have a mature bunch, and you know, I think they'll be ready to go for sure when we hit Saturday.
You know, going back to the defense, on third downs, I believe you guys are 17th in the country on third down defense. Only 27% of the time they're connecting on those downs. You know, is it just being good in first and second down, or is there anything specific about third downs with this defense that's good, or, you know, what's led to that success?
I think it's a combination of everything. You know, we've got them behind the chains. You know, Coach Summers has done a really good job of early downs of bringing some pressure and getting some TFLs and some sacks, and then we've been good on third down, whether it's third and medium or third and short, and just, you know, changing up what we do and loading the box and keeping them guessing. It's all played in our favor, and you know, it's still early in the season. We need to have those same numbers at the end of the season too.
Coach, Troy's putting up almost 400 yards per offensive game this year. WKU only put up 73 points on Saturday. Do you kind of feel like, you know, if you're betting on your offense that you guys are going to win games, you feel confident in that group?
Yeah, if we're hitting on all cylinders offensively, then I'm really confident group. You know, the biggest thing for us offensively is starting fast. You know, our challenge for us offensively is we got to start fast. We haven't started a game yet that I can think of that we didn't have a 3 and out or, you know, a 6 and out or something of that nature. So I want to see us to start fast and try to apply the pressure to the other football team that, you know, okay, this offense coming into the game is a high-powered offense. Okay, they did show up early. They are hitting on all cylinders early. That's an advantage for our football team. You know, that's probably a big point for us offensively is we need to start fast this week for sure. It will not be easy because we're playing a really good defense that limits you in number one, your possessions, 2, your points, you know. And, you know, we've averaged at least over 30 points a game. So if we can keep those numbers up and make it to where you have to match us touchdown for touchdown, then it's in our favor. But when you play a really good opponent in Troy, if there's a lot of back and forth, and we can't get going offensively, then that plays into their favor. So it's really an emphasis on our offense this week is just like we did last week against FIU. Let's apply pressure early to try to get them off of their game and what they want to do.
You know, with their defense, obviously Coach Summerall's the defensive guy. Coach defense has played linebacker himself. Looks like they're averaging about 3 sacks per game. In terms of getting pressure on the quarterback, you know, how do you see them doing that, and what's going to take to keep Austin on his feet?
They got good athletes. They got good guys that can rush the passer. They're quick twitch. They understand their scheme well. I think Coach Summerall's done a fantastic job of motivating the football team to believing, you know, that they're going to go make those plays. They're going to go get after the quarterback. Austin has done a good job of getting the ball out of his hands. Our offensive line has done a good job with the pressure piece. Again, I talk about the 2 matchups there. That'll be an interesting matchup. How do we match up with their pass rush and the athletes they have, and how do they match up with what we do offensively? And so that'll be a great matchup in the trenches for sure. But you know, they've had a lot of success of getting to the quarterback, and if you want to be good defensively, that's what you got to do. So we got to protect Austin. Austin's got to get the ball out of his hands, all the things that we've been doing from week to week.
You know, with Austin, I kind of asked you about it on Saturday. You know, I said the one knock I kind of heard on him heading into the year, and after that first week was his completion percentage, and I believe he not throwing it that much, but he's slinging it around, slinging some deep balls, to still have that high of a completion percentage. What does that say about him and things that he's able to do in his growth so far?
Yeah, he's right on track with his development. He's got a lot of great football ahead of him. He has by no means played his best football game. He knows that. I know that. We work hard on those things every week. Coach Arbuckle has done a fantastic job of bringing him to this point. But, Austin, to this date, if you look at the 4 games we played, he's doing what I thought he would do. And, I have high expectations for the quarterback position, but I think he's going to continue to develop, and his best football is still ahead of him for sure. And there's some things we're working on with him continuously, and he's such a smart guy, and he works so hard at it that I know, you're going to, some of the things we want to see him do, we're going to see them here pretty soon for sure.